Eric Keller here, Enthusiast Auto Group. Welcome to Lime Rock Park Lane. These E92 M3s represent the final model year, the last of that analog, naturally aspirated era where a V8 powered these M3 coupes, the end of the two-door version of said M3. And the Lime Rock Edition is, frankly, to us, the most special version of this platform. And it celebrates the relationship between a very special track and BMW North America. Matt Russell, the M brand director at the time, came up with the idea and had a bit of an uphill battle to bring this to market, but obviously was successful. Fun fact that you can learn more about in a video quite a long time ago when we sat down with Matt Russell in the backseat of an Alpina B7. The first Lime Rock was actually Valencia Orange, and the board poo-pooed that pretty quick. And very, well, thankfully to us that love orange, the Fire Orange from the GTS was selected, and that certainly has become part of this car's signature naturally. 200 of these were built. We're pretty fortunate that we've had about a quarter of those, a little more than that. We got into these cars quite early into their production, a couple months after they were out, and we've frankly just never left, and they just keep finding us. And that car we're going to talk about today is the perfect example of just that. The second owner in California, Dennis, long distance fist bump. You did a great job keeping this car in top shape and did a good job convincing us that it was an EAG caliber car. The car's got 53,000 miles on it. It has some very tasteful and enthusiast-oriented driver mods that certainly enhance the car's performance a bit and give the car a little bit more attitude. And you need a little more attitude when you're driving a Fire Orange M3, right? But I've really had a great time having some good drives in this car, and we're going to do just that today in this video. It makes fantastic noises. The stock, these things sound just gnarly, and that S65 at 8,000 RPMs and this titanium Iconal exhaust system it's just symphony. It's just love it. But we'll get to that. The car has a really cool story, and it's going to be a fun one to share. So I do hope everybody's staying safe out there, enjoying the content, and if so, hit the subscribe button and keep tabs on us. We got a lot more cars to share with you, and if you got something special, do reach out. We'd be happy to keep it in a great home. So without further ado, let's take a lap around this Lime Rock and have some fun. Driving an E92 M3 is one of my favorite experiences behind the wheel. This transmission is just awesome. Have a great time when you're doing this. This car sounds just amazing. I love Lime Rock M3s. Together, the speed, the action. I've got the transmission set to up, and it's really responsive, and I really like that you can completely single out the transmission as its own channel and have the transmission do as hard or as soft as you want based on your driving preferences at that time. It's a really great feature. One of the absolute best features about the E92 M3 is the fact that every driver aid, every control, whether it's the transmission, the traction control, the steering, the power, all of those are on their own individual channel, including the suspension even. And so if you want to change just one of those settings, you have that ability as the driver to finely tune exactly how you want your driving experience to be. The newer M's just simply do everything as a package and don't let you individually tailor that. And frankly, I like this way better. Yeah, that's why I like it way better. You really can have a full sense of car control and feel everything that's going on in a, again, still a traditional analog way that M was known for back in the day. And this drives like an M car should to me, as the guy that came up driving the first and second and third generation M3s and M5s and whatnot. And, this still has that DNA. And then, you know, I can go and turn everything to soft and turn all the transmission all the way down, and I can then drive home from work on a Friday after a long day, or I can drive home on a Friday after a long day and have that ability to control those two. Really is the best part about this DCT. I know everybody seems to always want the 6 speeds, and I love a 6-speed. We own a 6-speed Lime Rock, but the DCT in this application is awesome. It really is a lot of fun. It's a different kind of fun, and it's a higher performance capable kind of fun that you cannot do in a 6-speed. There's no way as a professional driver you could keep up with this transmission. It really is the best of both worlds, and it still gives you a tactile, you know, feel when you click these paddles. It's not like a ball bearing. It's awesome. Really like it. I don't think we've done enough videos on the E90 and E92 M3s. The driving dynamics of these cars is just frankly really awesome. They will do everything very well if you are a one fun car family. The car is going to certainly deliver a lot of fun on the weekends, yet just as much fun driving to work. It's comfortable around corners because it's confidence inspiring, and you have a very good sense of car control. Oh, man. I love this car. This is awesome. Whew. Before diving into our feature Lime Rock, we should probably take a stroll down Lime Rock Park Lane. Starting with this Dynon enhanced 3,000 mile dual clutch. This has to be the nicest DCT EAG has acquired to date. It is never been wet on the underside, said the original owner, and well, he wasn't joshing. It is an amazing example that EAG sold to a really great repeat client. It was his actually third Lime Rock that he'd acquired, and I'm sure he misses that car and will probably own a fourth at some point, right, Matt? The 5,000 mile car here up next is set up with a set of spacers that you can see just spaced out just a little bit compared to the car directly in its front. This is a car that we acquired and sold to a collector in Boise, Idaho. 2 years later, bought it back, sold to another EAG local client that has a pretty short attention span and purchased the car back from him again. And here we are now for a third time. Super nice car. This is a first-time visitor, 6-speed. You wouldn't be able to tell from the outside on any of these things, but this is a 3,000-mile car as well. This is the lowest mileage 6-speed EAG has acquired to date. Just a handful of the 6-speeds built, about 50 of them, and the condition of this car is really, really, really good. It's a cloth interior car, which does hold you in the seats just a little bit better than the straight leather if you're going to be driving it and driving it hard. The press car that was owned by both Matt Russell and Tom Blazinski, the 8,000-mile 6-speed we had about a year ago or so, was also a cloth interior car. And then this is the one right there in the middle, the 27,000-mile DCT that EAG acquired from the third owner, I believe. It might have been the second owner. Kind of runs together when they're all orange and you've had this many of them. But our feature car today is really a fantastic example. It's wearing some GTS-esque carbon fiber there on the front splitter. It is a black wheel optioned car. It does have the M Performance black grills, which several of the other cars do as well. It's also wearing a pair of carbon fiber mirror caps. It is a mostly stock drivetrain with the exception of an intake and a really trick exhaust system. The M Performance muffler is still intact, albeit it is visually enhanced with a larger set of tips and again the carbon fiber almost GTS inspired rear diffuser. These burnished tips are simply fitting right over the original M Performance muffler. That titanium Iconal muffler, again, it's really just the best sounding muffler for the V8 application in my personal opinion. I cannot get enough of that system. The interior has just a couple small updates. It has a set of Hamann pedals. It does have a carbon fiber steering wheel overlay, and that's pretty much it on the inside. All the Lime Rocks will have this gel sticker there in the middle that you can't get those from BMW. They won't sell them outright, and I don't blame them. There's enough copycats out there. That is a unique piece to the Lime Rock package, as well as the M Performance steering wheel. This steering wheel is an original wheel that still shows its age and mileage well, but it's not too terribly bad. We do change these quite often, and that would be something we certainly would offer to the next owner if they wanted to spruce up the interior a bit. The back seat is in fantastic shape, and everybody says I've never been sat in. I'm sure people have sat back there. I've actually had a pair of car seats back there, so it's getting its use. Under the bonnet, we are looking at an AFE intake that will get a little bit more oxygen in the engine and open up that just set of 8 trumpets in those individual throttle bodies. And that's about it in terms of modifications. There is one little trick with the exhaust in that he did put an electronic valve that will bypass the muffler. Obviously that is for track use only, says all of the labels, and you'll notice that when the window tint was removed, so came the Lime Rock sticker that sits in the back window, and guess what? That's on the EAG Rejuve ticket, and we will be replacing that. That little remote though for the valve is right there. There's a pair of them, and that does open and close this butterfly valve that really makes this thing come alive and sing. I'll let the driving video portion speak directly and clearly to that. We do have really good service history on the car, and just making sure that it doesn't touch. That's close. The history file is pretty good and thick, and without flashing any personal info, we do have a nice group of info that we'll go over all individually with the next owner. A lot of it done at looks like Crevier BMW, in California. So let's go jump in the car and have some fun. Too much fun. Way too much fun. For those of you that have not owned an E92 M3, these nifty little seatbelt aids hand you the seatbelt so that you can easily keep yourself firmly planted in that sport seat. Those Germans, they think of everything. I hope you've enjoyed your lap around the Lime Rock Park Edition M3. It's been a fun ride, and certainly I hope it was an educational one here and there. It's a great car. They're great cars overall, and having had so many of them in the past is really just a blessing, and we're very thankful that we've had the opportunity to become a part of so many of their lives and meet a lot of great enthusiasts at each juncture. If you're interested in this car or any of the other 4 Lime Rocks that we have available, certainly reach out. We have a very comprehensive data file to provide to you that'll give you every disclosure that you need to make an educated remote buying decision. EAG's sales have been out of state sight unseen for as long as we've been a business, and certainly have that streamlined, and we'll certainly ensure that you have a very great experience and support after the sale. The price of this car is $55,000, and certainly is just a lot of smiles per mile, frankly. So I'm certainly looking forward to meeting the next owner and helping write another great chapter, hopefully just as great, if not even better than the first chapter has been with the previous owner, Dennis. Thanks again, Dennis. Appreciate you, man. Great car, and we're going to find her a great home. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe for more. See ya.